Fantastic.
So, everyone, greetings from Finland. My name is Manu Mesimäki, and I'm a COO at Virnex. What we are talking about today is basically six main topics. Just a very quick intro to what Virnex is, but then I'm going to share you some of my ideas about sustainability and the reality of it. We'll talk about green code, AI and sustainability, and then if we have time, I'm gonna walk you through some of the basics of our own sustainability program, how we work at Virnex, and then finally some key takeaways for you guys. You're free to interrupt me at any time, but was it Ari, so that we have after my presentation there is some time for questions if any. So about Virnex. I'm not going to run any boring company presentations, just one slide. We are a company from Finland. Two offices, one in Lahti, where I'm from, and then one in Espoo, which is actually the greater Helsinki area, about 100 people, and we serve quite a bunch of customers, 350 plus customers, starting from small businesses to large corporates and public sector, a bit less than 12 million euros turnover. What we do is basically we help our customers to understand how they could gain more out of digitalization. How would data-driven, if they understand better of their data, how AI could help them to be more efficient, etc. So that's what we do in short. If you're interested more about Virnex, especially our people, if there are anyone from Finland, more than happy to discuss more about possibilities to offer you some subject for your thesis or maybe a training program. So get in touch with me if such is in your interests. But then about sustainability and the reality of it. And my apologies if I am in some parts by purpose a bit critical, because the main idea is to kind of wake you up to think about if there is two or even more sides in this coin. So I start with bananas, and now everyone might think, what in earth that guy is doing? We were supposed to talk about digitalization, and this is bananas. But the what we see here is three different labels of bananas. Normal private label banana that you can find from any grocery store, a global brand, Chiquita bananas, and then an organic version of that banana. What is different is, of course, their nature, if it's produced in a sustainable manner or produced in less sustainable manner. But also an important thing that differs is price. If we go and ask people, let's put a poll outside the grocery store main entrance and ask people or consumers about their behavior when it comes to buying organic food. Quite a few of them most probably say, in Finland it's way over 50% of customers, that's consumers, says that they buy organic food monthly or more often. But if we compare that to actual fact or statistics, which says that only 10 to 15% of bananas are organic. What I'm saying by this example is that there is quite a massive difference in between how we talk and how we walk. I'll come back to this later. Another example, and my apologies, this is Finglish, just partly translated, my bad. But it is, we all know about, Temu, the giant Chinese e-coms that nobody knew about in 2 weeks, years ago. If we ask people, and in this example, I only concentrate on this number, over 55 years old persons, asking if you are interested in actually understanding whether the product you are about to purchase is manufactured responsibly. 58.3% says yes, we do that always. So how come Temu, which we all know and is definitely not the most sustainably manufactured product provider, how come Temu can be the most popular e-commerce site among 50 plus year persons or customers in Finland? So again, there's massive gap in between what we say and how we actually act. Why I'm talking about this was supposed to be about digitalization and sustainability. It's because of the conclusion that I claim is that if and when, currently we can say when, sustainability is not required by law, it's more of a up to director or entrepreneur or company owners whether they buy products and services from companies and vendors that obey the responsibility and sustainable manners. So this is the key thing. It's volunteer. We know that there are some legislation coming up already. A big companies in Europe, according to directives in EU and national legislation, will drive towards this direction. So there are requirements by the law. But I started a company a couple of years ago, which was aiming fully to sustainable development, helping customers to understand what would sustainability mean for them. And when we started that 2021, there was a lot of noise going on around sustainability. But and a lots of programs started, lots of people were talking about sustainability, but in the end, we found out that actually there was much more talk than walk, and basically the same thing like I showed in the banana example. You need to you have to afford to buy organic bananas. If you have just a limited amount of money in a pocket, you will most probably choose the more cheaper version of bananas, no matter what you just told in the poll. And companies act more or less the same way. And we have tried to understand with our customers how could we change the way so that even if there is limited amount of money in the companies, the expenditure would go and should go to the more sustainably manufactured products. But we'll see. So again, my apologies. I am trying to be critical only because I want you guys to start thinking this more deeply. Let's go to tendering processes. We at Virnex, like most of the software companies that are providing tailor-made software, so not providing their own software product, but we provide tailor-made software for our customers. So almost every case we win via tendering process. And the interesting thing again is, especially when knowing that our business is, let's say, a bit over 50%, I would say, is from public sector. So city authorities, governmental organization, and government-owned companies that we are making software. The tender process is for putting providers, giving them scores. And these are the 8 most typical requirements, or kind of a groups of requirements. And there is no single word about sustainability, which is alerting, I would say. In some cases, sustainability is kind of a mandatory general requirement that your company needs to have, say, a sustainability program to be able to join our tender process. But it's more like a checkbox. Check. Everyone can have a sustainability program you can make it in one night, but it's only talking. Now, what sustainability is, it's not about talking, it's about walking. So how you actually operate in your daily day life, no matter if you are a consumer, private person, or the company, same thing matters. So how we do, even if the tender process, we see that there is no extra points available if we state that our software is designed in sustainable matters, we support green coding, etc. We have decided that we always bring this up, even though it's not any of the scoring requirement. That is because we believe that one day there will be people behind the tender process who actually can make the final decision, and sustainably operating companies will win that game. That's definitely what I believe and hope. So if we think of this sustainability subject in general, a couple of years ago, that was one of the even in the mega trends, they were claiming that sustainability is the next big thing after the industry. We enter to industrial era, and so it's not that anymore because AI has taken most of the air now, and we'll see what happens next. So sustainability has become, and this is my claim based on my experience, is that sustainability is like an assumption, like quality. Everyone expects that you deliver good quality, don't they? Or we provide reliable software. Or have you seen someone claiming that our software is crappy and it falls all the time? No. And same goes with sustainability. So it is kind of a inbuilt assumption. But the tricky thing is, how could we still use that as a differentiator when there are 5 different software companies where you might be working someday? How could we make ourselves a bit different, a bit better looking than the others? And I believe that sustainability, not just stating that in your website, but actually showing what are the actual actions, how we do every day our operations so that it's more sustainable. Then about green code, I'm not sure how much you have already in your studies touched this subject. I try to my approach is a bit more unorthodox. Because I like the idea of clean code a lot. I graduated by myself early 90s, so a while ago. And when I look and read today, read about green code and what are the basics of how you make green code is that it reminds me a lot how things were naturally in early 90s. Because thing is, green code in brief, it's very much of optimizing things so that your energy consumption is as low as possible. And but in 90s, I remember one of my first projects that I was able to deliver was to a Finnish weather forecasting company. It was, say, 92. And my company made a software that collected weather forecasting data from different stations at the coastal area of Finland. So remote places, no chance to lay any wire. So at that time, the highest speed or bandwidth when it comes to wireless was 1.2 kilobytes per second. So 1.2 kilos. In today standards, it's nothing. Nothing moves if only 1.2 kilos moves. But we had that was maximum we had. So it was a matter of a lot of optimization. How could we make the code and how could we make the data transmission so optimal that even in such a narrow bandwidth, we are able to send that data through. Same was with the processor capacity. 286, 386 was the processor series at that time. So again, it was extremely low processor capacity that you had in hand. So it was about optimizing, a lot of optimizing so that you can get most out of it. Same goes with storage capacity, same goes with updates. So you were not able to send over the air a new update just when you find out. It was like next half a year that you need to manage with that existing version you had. So again, this is very much like I've used a lot optimization. To my understanding and how I see green code, it's a lot of optimizing, and we tend to act so that let's take a money example again. If you have a lot of money in your pocket, isn't it so that you tend to use it quite a lot because you have money? But vice versa, if you don't have money, you optimize, you very carefully decide whether I buy this or that just to make sure that the money lasts until I get the next batch. So green code is about that. I'm I'm not gonna read this through, but I have listed a few things about green code, challenges and then solution, because it's always about balancing. The more you optimize, the more it takes time. The more you optimize, you may get lower energy consumption, but it may also lead to the fact that you actually lose the performance. So it's always a balancing between how much time you have, how much can it cost, and so forth. Also, the fact is that the world still is full of legacy systems. And by legacy systems, I mean, well, let me take an example from Virnex. We are a company that has made a lot of acquisitions. And so there are companies that have been up and running way before our time. Our oldest still up and running agreement about software was signed in 1987. 1987, and that IBM I-series solution, it's still running in operative use. So that is such a platform that it's very tricky, if not even impossible, to make too much of a clean coding there. So that's one of our aim to migrate from legacy system to modern systems in order to get more energy, less energy consumption, more performance, etc. So to summarize, green code is always about balancing, and this is something that we tend to talk a lot with our customers. And again, why I showed this banana example in the beginning is that if the customer that we are selling our software development services, if the customer doesn't value for when it comes to sustainability, if they are not willing to pay any extra to get software that is green coded, etc., it is going to be super tricky. So what we can do is to promote the idea and show the arguments that are supporting the idea of green code. Well, then few words about AI and sustainability. AI is definitely something that has two sides in its coin. And despite the fact that AI can bring so much good, we also need to understand, and also I would say we need to accept that AI is also it requires a substantial amount of energy, especially when we are training the models, especially when it comes to large language models, which definitely is not all about AI. So energy consumption when you are training is vast. Well, data centers and in general, actually, most of these, what I go back to green code. I listed here. The thing also is that the easiest way to make sure that what you deliver is as sustainable as possible is to choose the right data center or hosting partner, because there are massive differences in between the energy consumption in different hosting environments where the company software is ran, and that is a bit, I would say, a bit pity when it comes to cloud environment. We kind of lose, not fully, but we this the data and the processor capacity, it's not somewhere over there. It's not in clouds. It is always in some server somewhere in the world. And most of the software that we buy as a service, it is actually quite difficult to even understand where my data is. Okay, it's stored in Europe, but where? How sustainable your server rooms are. So that is definitely something that we need to push more and more, because the data centers are the ones that consumes the energy, not the software itself. Well, AI is one of the best things that has happened recently, that's for sure. And even though there is side effects when using AI, like the energy consumption, when used correctly, it will definitely provide so much help to our everyday business. No matter if we are talking about software company that like us, we use AI-based tools a lot in programming to help programming, testing procedures, etc., etc., and help our customers to do that. But again, when used correctly, I will not stay in this subject longer because there is so much to read about this in the different medias. So let's go just a quick look at how we at Virnex see the responsibility as part of our life. First of all, we believe, and I think it's a fact as well, that responsibility is actions. It's so easy to update your website, use a local advertising agency, and make us look responsible. But that's not what we want to do. We truly believe that it takes actions every day and decisions so that we can really proudly say that we act as responsibly as we want to. So I won't go into details here either. Just a few quick ones. So this is how we have divided our focus areas to 4 different parts: sustainable and easy to use digital services and solutions, successful corporate culture, not exactly anything to do with digitalization, but it's definitely there. Cybersecurity and ethical use of data. This is one of the especially for our kind of company who also deals with very old software solutions. The cybersecurity and the GDPR in general is something that will need to pay a lot of attention. Right. So I suppose I can send this presentation later, so I will not spend time here that long. So I will just run this through. So finally, a few takeaways. If there is something that I'd like you to remember from this presentation is that you as a future, you someday you will be seeking a job, and that is one of the best place where you can influence. You need to choose a job where responsibility is in their DNA. Secondly, sustainability definitely is a continuous action. It's not just a marketing campaign. It's not just a program that you run one off and then everything continues as they used to be. It is a continuous action. Every purchase that you make, every decision you make, it's only that way you can really say proudly that our company is acting in a sustainable manner. Well, about AI, at the same time, it's both irresponsible and responsible. Like we saw earlier, the power consumption is massive. It is, but still, I believe that the benefits are much greater than the downside of using AI. So definitely encourage you guys to take most out of it. Well, the green code. Green code is balancing in between the performance, costs, and efficiency. And we need to accept that not all systems, not all platforms offers two good possibilities for that. But the more modern and especially the new software that you start from scratch, all the possibilities to make things as green as possible. Finally, about Virnex in networks, we are at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and internet. So if you're interested in seeing what's happening at our site, please follow. Now it's time for questions, if there is any. Thank you.